Alright, my people, welcome back onto this channel. Well, this is another one reaching us. Reasons Obi'S and Tinubu'S supporters should stop abusing themselves. Well, my brother, my sister, this is another one. Well, onto this, according to an article from the Punch, Tinubu and Obi'S supporters should stop vitriol. It is difficult for anyone, even the most fervent supporters of the ruling APC, to argue that Nigerians have been well served by our leaders over the past 20 years. However, history has demonstrated that even the USA cannot claim to have an impeccable democracy. Both those who operate the system and citizens of the country have come to appreciate and honor the system, regardless of their political affiliations. In such situations, the nation's best interest should supersede any other concerns. This moment should not resemble times of war, where winners, losers, and then supporters engage in verbal clashes. In this era, it is crucial to balance action with contemplation. The victors must provide reassurance to the public regarding the opportunities that the next 4 years may bring. At the same time, those who believe they have been unfairly defeated must respect the authority of the judiciary and promote national harmony. The winners must demonstrate their commitment through practical steps that align with their plans. After a fiercely contested election like the recent one, the winner's second priority should be to win over as many Nigerians as possible for the incoming administration. The acceptance of the people, regardless of their voting preferences, is key to legitimizing the government. The winner of a closely contested election needs to build bridges with as many Nigerians as possible to establish legitimacy for the incoming administration. The government's acceptance among the people, irrespective of their voting patterns, is paramount. Engaging in a confrontational approach and then addressing every criticism as if the election campaign is ongoing is not a helpful endeavor for the newly elected president and then his team. It is contradictory to represent the incoming leader of the country while at the same time insulting and then vilifying Nigerians. The success of any government depends on having the backing of the majority, regardless of how hostile or resentful they may seem towards the government. This is particularly true in Nigeria, where public dissatisfaction is acknowledged by all. Meanwhile, many of the young individuals in the Obi'S group who have been accused of engaging in mob tyranny are simply reacting to the disappointment of unfulfilled aspirations that a country with vast resources has imposed upon them. By involving them in verbal confrontations, we reveal our own lack of understanding of their circumstances and then, more worryingly, acknowledge that they are as a result of our past limited tolerance. To establish an inclusive and pan-Nigerian agenda, the Tinubu faction must mollify the dissatisfied groups that are in conflict. This is a characteristics of progressive leadership. For all party supporters to seek a better country, the election victors should lay a strong foundation for the new government by instilling hope instead of despair and fostering trust instead of hostility, which marked the previous elections. All right, my people, this is exactly what the day's reasons Obi'S and Tinubu supporters should stop abusing themselves. Well, my people, this one is another strong one, and then as it stands, like what you are insinuating now, how do you think could be stopped when the Obi'S are bent on insulting anyone who speak about Tinubu winning the election? We all know it is God alone, and no any other person can make a leader. So until the Labour Party and then our supporters agreed to that, the tension will not stop until it turns to a different thing altogether. Initially, the Igbos and the Yorubas are good to each other, but the birth of Obi'S movement has changed the mindset of the two tribes, which allowed the Satan to invest there. So think of it, and then the amicable solutions in future. Some of us are having our maternal home to Igbo race, and then also grew up to many an Igbo woman with many children, both male and female. So the solution is what is needed, not the truncating as some beings are insinuating. May God save Nigeria. All right, this has been said by Karimu Akinwale. Well, according to what had been gathered, this one had also been said by Stephen James. He said, well, Obi'S are the most useless people in the country. They started the abuse just that the ball turned against them. Well, replying to this, Edward says, well, same thing the Obi'S will say about you. Well, APC is notorious for propaganda and the 8 speeches. Obi'S only responded accordingly. Just compare the speeches of Tinubu and compare them with Obi's speeches. Which of them started the war of words? Also, considering how APC came to power against Jonathan. All right, my people, this is another strong one that has reached us. Majority of things do onto this had actually been said. What more can we say? Meanwhile, let me have your own take, my people, on this, and remember to subscribe for more updates if you are new on this channel. All right, thanks and God bless.